Footage of the Maccabi hooligan attacks in Amsterdam is missing, while they are receiving compensation. Maccabi Tel Aviv fans flew to the Netherlands for a football match in November 2024, with reports indicating that these included Mossad and/or Israeli police. Clashes then erupted after the Israeli hooligans provoked Dutch youth in Amsterdam, chanting racist anti-Arab slogans, tearing down Palestinian flags, and ignoring a minute of silence for the Spanish flood victims. Not a single Maccabi hooligan was arrested or detained.
And we know from media reports that some of them actually served in Gaza. So they went to Gaza, were complicit in the genocide, and they came here on their genocide leave. It's totally unacceptable. We will not accept it for Russians that are serving in Ukraine. So why are we accepting this for Israeli soldiers from the IDF?
2 reports against the Maccabi hooligans were dismissed due to deleted CCTV footage. One of the reports is from a woman who shouted, quote, "Free Palestine," and she was attacked by the Maccabi hooligans. A second woman who was wearing a hijab was in the metro when Maccabi hooligans shouted, quote, "We will kill all of you," at her. GVB, Amsterdam's public transport company, usually stores soundless footage for 2 weeks, but in this case, it was only, quote, "a few days." The footage was deleted too early, reportedly due to new equipment at GVB, and in the other case due to, quote, "automatic overriding." GVB points to the public prosecutor, stating that no request was made to preserve the footage. This makes prosecution of the Maccabi hooligans virtually impossible.
There was also a taxi driver who went to a police officer and said he wanted to file charges and was denied.
Something that really frustrates me is whenever I talk about my feeling of unsafety as a Palestinian, somebody is saying, hey, this is anti-Semitism. And it's something that I really want to fight. Yes, there is anti-Semitism, and that's actually very close to what we experience. And it frustrates me that when it gets to politics, that it are the politicians that try to divide us.
There were 2 reports, one about the police behavior, one about the triangle. Both of them did not mention even once Muslim hatred or discrimination of Muslims, while they both mentioned anti-Semitism quite regularly.
Het lijkt er echt op alsof de politie eigenlijk niks doet. Niet eens, dus niet eens een waarschuwing, ze rijden gewoon mee.
From my perspective, the bigger threat was whether these people would be attacked by the Maccabi supporters, because they are known for these attacks and for this absolutely vile racism and hatred towards Arabs worldwide. I think the only thing they were a victim of was their own behavior.
All those who assaulted the Maccabi hooligans, however, have been prosecuted.
Free Palestine now!
The judge handed down, quote, "prison sentences of up to 6 months and community service." The judge said the sentences are harsher than usual for similar violent offenses, and that, quote, "considering the seriousness of the acts and the context in which they were committed, a prison sentence is appropriate." What the judge means by, quote, "given the seriousness in context," is that the retaliatory actions were suspected to be anti-Semitically motivated.
Haatdragende, antisemitische relschoppers en criminelen hebben gisteravond en gisternacht Joodse Israëlische bezoekers te gast in onze stad belaagd en in elkaar geslagen. Mijn hart gaat uit naar de slachtoffers en naar hun familie hier en in Israël. En ik begrijp heel goed dat dit de herinnering aan pogroms terugbrengt.
A pogrom is a violent, often state-tolerated attack on a minority group. It typically involves, among other things, looting and destruction. The term is most associated with anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic violence. The Maccabi hooligans who attacked and tore down Palestinian flags were not seen as perpetrators, so they are eligible to receive above-average compensation from the Netherlands for their injuries. For context, in 2020, the Hague Court awarded €123 to €3,634 to families of Indonesians summarily executed by Dutch soldiers in South Sulawesi in 1946 and 1947. Most, quote, amounts were below average by Dutch standards, by the fact that most of the men who were shot were farmers earning about €100 per year at a time. Unlike the compensation for the Maccabi hooligans, which did not include murder, These payouts were shockingly low and granted 73 years later after a long legal battle delaying victims' recognition and closure. So how can the Netherlands justify compensating Maccabi hooligans who sparked the violence that can't be investigated due to deleted footage while failing to recognize its own long history of discrimination?
There's no justice for the Arab, Palestinian and Muslim citizens of Amsterdam in a country where Muslim hatred and institutional racism is still rampant and is also bleeding through in this situation.
So there was one positive note coming from this debate. The mayor acknowledged in reaction to my questions that the next time when Ajax may play against Maccabi Tel Aviv, she will think twice. And what I get from that statement is that Maccabi Tel Aviv is not welcome.